Welcome to another daily cinephile video, and since I already did daily vlogs for the WandaVision series, I thought I will do the same for the Falcon and Winter Soldier television show, now on Disney Plus, as you can see from that logo right there, and the second project to come out of Phase 4 of the MCU. Technically would have been the third or fourth or maybe even fifth project had all the other movies come out at their scheduled release time, but now we just have the TV shows coming out due to the pandemic, with movies being pushed back. Black Widow's still scheduled for May. Let's hope it happens. But let's talk about the debut episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I keep wanting to call it Captain America and Winter Soldier, but I can't get Captain America off the mind, especially since, the shield was heavily used in the promotional material. So episode 1, The New World Order, as it's titled. Which I was kind of wondering if that was gonna come into play. I was wondering if they were gonna do some sort of, story based on that concept. Since Endgame happened, I was like, maybe countries came together and then they're gonna actually try to absolve power into one unity with disastrous results. I don't know. Not exactly how it premiered, but there's a lot of really interesting things that happen. So the show opens with, it's Falcon, and it seems like he is getting dressed for a funeral, and I was almost wondering if it was for Steve Rogers. Now, they never say if he's dead. They reference the ending of Endgame, bringing back some of the dialogue that was said, but we don't see Steve Rogers. We don't see Chris Evans playing Steve Rogers, or old version of Steve Rogers. But people know that he's gone. But there's also conspiracy theories as to what happened to him. Even one of the new characters brings him up and says, yeah, there's people saying that he is hiding on the moon watching over us. Which I don't know if that was supposed to be a thing at Watchmen. That's where, like, Dr. Manhattan ran away to. I don't know. Maybe that was just supposed to be a little Easter egg towards that. Just a little nod to Watchmen, but yeah, Steve Rogers on the moon. That would be kind of interesting. They never explicitly say if he was dead, but I was kind of getting the feeling from that opening scene that he was. But right away we get into, a typical Marvel stunt and action sequence. We see Falcon flying around. He's got to go save some guy, fight some bad guys, and it's the typical stuff we've seen from Marvel. And I say that just because we just all had WandaVision. It's a much different show from what Marvel usually does, so to see something like this, it's like, oh, there we go, that's the Marvel I know. Opens very similarly to the way Winter Soldier opened, with a big action sequence to really get you into the kind of movie, or at least TV show, that this is going to be. And it was fun, wasn't great, but it was a fun enough action sequence. And I was kind of excited to see Marvel tackle the spy and espionage type of genre again. They did it with Winter Soldier, but I don't feel they ever properly tackled it ever again, especially since the Captain America series always felt like it could be something like that. The first movie, not so much, but the second movie, all the way. But the third movie, it didn't seem like they were given the opportunity to focus on that. On what made Winter Soldier so great, just because they had so many other characters. It became like a semi-Avengers movie in the end, and I love it, but it's not the same type of movie that Winter Soldier is. I like that this one is much more becoming what the Winter Soldier originally was. This feels much more like a sequel to that, in terms of style. So that got me excited. But the rest of the movie is pretty low-key. We see Loki. We see Falcon interacting with his sister, or at least, maybe I got that wrong, because she actually describes herself as Miss Wilson. Sorry, I was saying my name. She describes herself as Miss Wilson because her husband is deceased. But to be a Wilson, she had to marry a Wilson, so it must be Sam's brother's wife. So this must be his sister-in-law. Which, I watched it once, so if you're saying, how are you getting that wrong? I'm like, well, I spent only a few minutes with this character, so leave me alone. But they're trying to save this family boat, and yeah, they go to a bank, and the bank person brings up the fact that they haven't had any income in 5 years. And he's like, well, I've been gone. I was like, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's how financials would operate if people disappeared for 5 years. Would they still be denying loans on the basis of, well, you didn't have income for 5 years? Yeah, I've been dead for 5 years. There's the fact that Sam, was gone all that time, and the sister or sister-in-law was in a state of distraught and didn't have any help with everything in the past 5 years because she stuck around. There's also things brought up like, at one point someone in the streets of Tunisia thanks Sam for being an Avenger and for saving his wife, and he's like, you brought my wife back. And I'm like, it's so weird to think of this world that just happened where people got their spouses or they got their family back. And meanwhile, there's this other group that is starting to arise that it's an underground group, but kind of like a secret society. But their main goal seems to be, they think what Thanos did was right, and actually the past 5 years were better than what the years are like now. I'm really happy that they're really reflecting on everything that happened in Endgame, and they're not just going to ignore it. Maybe people think, well, of course they're not going to ignore it, but it felt like such a big event film with a storyline that was really just built for that movie, giving finality to the entire Infinity Saga. I wasn't really sure if they were going to bring it up again or if they wanted to maybe ignore it just because it created so many... it makes the universe so much different because you have to reference it. So to me, I was like, I don't know how you're going to very smoothly explain the fact that people were gone for 5 years and then came back, but they seem to be finding a really good way to do it. They're actually, Spider-Man Far From Home, WandaVision, and this show have all really reflected on it in a way where, they're bringing up things that maybe people didn't think about when they saw Endgame. Like, in Far From Home, people were homeless because they lost their homes because they were gone for 5 years. There's issues in this show where people feel that the past 5 years were better because things have become a mess, and they're commenting on the fact that things have become a mess. And in WandaVision, we see Monica Rambeau. She doesn't get to see her mom again because she was gone for 5 years, and in that time her mom died. So it's bringing up some really interesting things, and I'm really happy that they're going to keep up with this. So that stuff's really good. But so far, not a really lot going on. Falcon gives the shield to the Smithsonian. Even though he took it at the end of Endgame, he feels that it doesn't really belong to him, and he gives it to the Smithsonian Museum. Which I feel like is a bad idea, because I'm like, someone's going to steal that. For how many high-powered villains that are out there, I feel like someone's going to steal it from the Smithsonian. We're reintroduced to Winter Soldier, who's trying to make amends for all the bad things that he did in his past, especially the people that he caused trouble to. There's one man that he's interacting with, an older man whose son he actually killed as the Winter Soldier, and so far he doesn't have the guts to explain things to him, and he has a notebook where he's trying to cross names out, but not cross names out like a kill sheet. He's crossing them out because he's trying to make amends, make things better, fix things. So that's all interesting. He meets with a psychiatrist. That scene was very weirdly shot, where we just kept closing in on their faces like that, and I was like, what are we doing? I thought it was cool for the first shot, but my god, we keep using only this angle. Come on, change the angle. Was this done for, I don't know, was some of this filmed during the pandemic? Did they have to film it this way? But we don't get a lot of Winter Soldier doing what he usually does. There's a dream sequence where he's fighting people, but that's it. We don't really get any more of him. Falcon and Winter Soldier don't even meet each other in the first episode, so obviously it's a longer TV show. We're going to get to that eventually. This is a 50-minute long episode, though, so for... I don't know, maybe I'm used to the WandaVision episodes where they seemed a little more exciting, especially the first couple episodes versus the last, but all of them felt pretty filled. There was only like one filler episode that entire season. I feel like so far I don't know what they're setting up for, because the final scene kind of builds towards something, but I guess the rest of it, I didn't feel that there was building towards many ideas. We see Don Cheadle again, which is great. They have a really quick scene with him and Sam Wilson speaking with each other. But yeah, other than that, there's just not a whole lot here so far. They're building the bones towards something, but right now I feel like I need more, or I need something of like a story to start. We have some interesting things as far as a reflection of what happened in Endgame, and that stuff's always good, and I'm glad that they're doing so much of that. But I'm going to need a little bit more as of right now. The final scene, they introduce like this new Captain America who does have the shield, and they're like, well, we need a symbol for this country. Which, it's kind of funny that they do that, because, there's how many Avengers out there, but I guess the top tier ones are all gone. The most famous ones are all gone, so all the other ones they don't like. Like, they don't like Scarlet Witch, they don't like Hulk, they don't really like Ant-Man, so I guess they got to get in there Captain America. And this guy looks doofy in the costume, and I mean, it's meant to look like that. It looks like, I don't know, the Walmart off-brand version of Captain America that you would buy. I don't know. It's but that part was interesting just because I was like, yeah, I guess they would do that. I guess they would try to create a fake Captain America after so many years of him being an Avenger and being such a symbol of hope and helping to save the entire galaxy. But so far, I need a little more. I'm excited to see where it goes, just because, like I said, I like this genre. I like that they're going back to what made Winter Soldier so great, but I need a little bit more, and that's all I can say at the moment. It's the first episode, so looking forward to the next episode. So, in the meantime, like this video, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on episode 1. Subscribe to my main channel, of course, and use the bell icon, because the bell icon is trying to make me disappear the same way everyone disappeared in Endgame. Thanks for watching.